Hello, happy holidays. I hope we still have holidays. I really don't know when this video will be up, but as you can see, I'm still in the holiday spirit, mostly because it's not Christmas yet. I'm filming this in the 22nd of December. It usually takes me a lot of time to edit and upload. I hope that this will be up soon. Let me just stop talking and show you all the books that I want to read in 2024. I should say that I'm a slow reader. In 2023 I read 40 something books. My goal for 2024 is to read 50 books. I hope that this will help. This is why I have 14 books for 2024 and not 24 books for 2024. I just wanted to promise, mostly to myself that I will actually get to these books because I have so many great books in my bookshelf and I'm just a bit scared to read them. But the ones that I have chosen for this list is books that I really want to read them because I have some books that I know that they're great, but I'm avoiding them. So we have some of those in this list, but I mostly picked up books that I know that I will not be able to keep myself from reading them. Let's just start. I have divided them into categories in my mind so that it will be a bit easier. I don't know. So we will start with classics. The first classic that I want to read is Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre because I don't know why I haven't read this. I'm pretty sure that I will love the story, although I know that the couple has a significant age difference, which I'm not a huge fan of. But one of my favorite books of all time is Wuthering Heights, which is written by Charlotte's sister. And Jane Eyre has the same gothic vibe and there is romance, so I really don't know why I haven't picked that up yet. Now, the next one is Dracula by Bram Stoker. Let me tell you a little story about me and this book. I listened to the audiobook of this book in Greek with my boyfriend and we loved it. They did a great job, the audiobook, and it felt like a movie. It was awesome, and because we had such a great time listening to the book, I wanted to watch, I think it's CW's Dracula, because I've seen the first couple of episodes and I had a decent time, and I was like, alright, since I'm in this Dracula kick, let's go back and watch the whole series. But there was a mix-up, and instead of this production, I ended up watching Netflix 3-episode Dracula, and I loved it. I was obsessed. Don't get me wrong, once I finished Jane, then I was thinking about it, I did find things that didn't really make sense and some things that had no real impact in the story, but still, it was amazing. The setting was spectacular, the actors were fantastic. I really enjoyed the new additions to the story. I just loved it, and although I know that it is not perfect, I would recommend everyone to watch it because I had such a great time. I loved it. So when my boyfriend went on a business trip, he returned with this book because he knew that I hadn't read the book and he also knew that I was obsessed. So I really can't wait to actually read the original text and fangirl over Dracula. I don't know. I will have this Dracula in my mind. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. I'm really, really excited to read this and go back and read literary articles about it. I'm obsessed already. The second category is called Books with History, and this is because I have some history with these books. We will start with the only non-fiction, and this is, let me see the original title, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. My boyfriend bought this as a gift for me 1 or 2 years ago. I have started this book and it is very interesting because you learn about the earth and the universe and it's really fun. But for some reason, I stopped. I think I picked up another book, a novel, so I kind of just never picked up this book again. And I really want to because I kind of felt clever when I knew some of the information mentioned. And my boyfriend studied physics, so he knows stuff. It's really interesting because he talked about how universe was created, but I don't know, after like somewhere around the third and the fourth chapter, things got a bit vague for me, and I couldn't really tell what was like important things that I should know as a person living on this earth. And I think this is why I kind of stopped reading, but I really want to go back to it, and I will. Next, we have I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. There is also a Netflix film. I haven't seen the film, but I have actually read this book, and it is one of my favorite books of all time. The reason why this is on this list is because I want to reread it. Yeah, that's it. I just had a great time reading this one, and I want to reread it, and hopefully I'll also watch the film. This is amazing. Next, we have Sally Rooney's Beautiful World, Where Are You? I have read Conversations with Friends and Normal People, and I love them, especially normal people. So I kind of immediately bought this one as well. I haven't heard great things about this one, but I think that I will like it because I like Sally Rooney's writing, and I think that we focus on a group of friends who are in the mid 20s and they try to understand what they want in life, and this sounds very interesting and something I need. The last book in this subcategory is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Well, I read The Love Hypothesis in October or November of 2023. I had a great time. It was fun, cute. We were in a university setting which was great. I loved it. So I wanted to continue with this series. I think they are standalones. I think that The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, and Love Theoretically, it's like a series, although you can read them individually, and some examples like show up here and there, and this is why they are grouped together. I mostly want to read Love Theoretically because I've heard that it is one of the best out of the three, but I want to read them in order. So I bought Love in the Brain, and this is what makes it in our list, although this is people's list favorite book, mostly because it is too similar with Love Hypothesis, but that's okay because I enjoyed this book, so I think that I don't mind reading something similar to that, especially since it's the same author. Yeah, and I definitely want something cute as that 2024. And the next book is a category on its own. This is because, as you can tell, I'm not from England, I'm Greek. I just studied English literature, so this is why I kind of prefer reading books in English, but I actually want to get more into Greek literature, and this is why I want to add at least one Greek book. And the book that I picked is The Third Wreath by Kostas Taxis. I do not know much about this book. I think that it is included in Greek classics, but don't quote me on that. This book was first published in 1962. Anyway, we follow a mother and a daughter who have pretty tense relationship. This is the only thing that I know. It's about a mother and a daughter. But I first heard of this when it was adapted for the theater, and it went brilliantly, and actually two amazing Greek actresses performed, and yeah, it was a great success. Unfortunately, I couldn't see the play because it was in the capital in Athens, but I live in northern Greece. But yeah, I just heard great things, and I thought that the text must have played a role in this success as well. The last group is called Just Read the Blurb, because reading the blurb made me bought most of it. Let's start with the most popular out of them, My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Mosfer. A rich woman decides to sleep for a year instead of dealing with challenges in life. I mean, this sounds so interesting. If someone knew of a person who had actually done something like this, I mean, everyone would have questions and would want to learn what was going on and how that experiment went. So yeah, I really want to see what happens in this book. Also, another popular book is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Baccerica. I'm terrible with names, I'm so sorry. The premise is that we live in a world where people eat human meat because something went terribly wrong with animals, with pigs and cows. And I think that we follow Marcus, who is in the business of slaughtering humans. I think that this will be as creepy and disturbing as it sounds, and I cannot wait. Another book that you might have heard, and it might even be one of your favorites, is Freshwater by Kauke Emezi. I'm so sorry, I kinda know that I've mispronounced this one, but I have only heard great things about every Emezi book. This one is about Ada. She was a troubled child and she has multiple personalities, and it says that she's prone to fits and anger and grief. And when Ada grows up and heads to college in America, a traumatic event crystallizes herself into something more powerful. This sounds so powerful, and I haven't read any book dealing with multiple personalities. As someone who knows nothing about this, I'm really intrigued. So I really cannot wait to read this one. A book that I bought because I felt like I will identify completely with the protagonist is The Idiot by Elif Batuman. Let me read you the back. It says, Celine turns up at Harvard and finds herself dangerously overwhelmed by the challenges and possibilities of adulthood. How does she find friends? How will she fall in love? How does she deal with how difficult it is to be a failed writer and how baffling love is? I have finished with my studies. Actually, I have a job. I still find adulthood baffling, and I would like to be a writer. Do you kind of feel like a failed writer because I haven't really written anything? I just feel like this will hit too close to home, but I should say that I have been avoiding it because I haven't heard great things about it. So I'll just have to read and see how I feel about it. Then we have Against the Loveless World by Susan Abulhawa. This has been in my bookshelf for 3 years, but it now feels like the perfect time to read it. I will read you the back and you will understand why. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Nar sits in an Israeli prison. Many in the world outside call her a terrorist, and just as many call her a revolutionary, a hero. But the truth is more complicated. She was named for the river her mother crossed when she fled Israel's invasion of Palestine and grew up into a girl who carried in her bones the desperation of being a refugee. She was a woman who went to Palestine and found books, friends, politics, and a purpose. She sits in her cell and tells her story. I don't think that I have to say much about it. I will just say that we should all be informed about what is happening in Gaza, the whole area. It is inhumane that we and governments, we let these 2 million people die. We should help as we can and push our governments to actually send help to make Israel stop all the cruelties and to actually understand that we are all people. I'm sorry, there are amazing people out there who actually do God's war on social media, informing everyone about what is going on. I'll add a few people that I followed. It's just crazy. We live in a world in 2023 as I'm filming it, but I'm pretty sure that when this video will be up, the world will still be this awful place. We have learned nothing. Apparently, we still haven't learned that we should care about human lives. But yeah, since we're in this topic, there is another fiction book that I want to read, and it is relevant to Palestine, and this is The Parisian by Isabella Hamad. I think that this is historical romance. Let me read the back. Mihat Kama, dreamer, romantic, leaves Palestine in 1914 to study medicine in France under the tutelage of Dr. Moulinier. He falls deeply in love with Janet, the doctor's daughter, but Midhat soon discovers that everything is fragile. Love turns to loss, friends become enemies, and everyone is looking for a place to belong. Through Midhat's eyes, we see the tangled politics and personal tragedies of a turbulent era, the Palestinian struggle for independence, the strife of the early 20th century, and the looming shadow of the Second World War. Lush and immersive and devastating in its power, The Parisian is an elegant, richly imagined debut from a dazzling new voice in fiction. This sounds really interesting in terms of romance, politics, personal development, so I'm really excited to read this one. The last book that I have for this video is The Good People by Hannah Kent. This sounds like, I would say, modern gothic, and I have to say that The Lonely is one of the books that I actually read it during my master's in creative writing, and I loved it. The Good People sounds like it has similar vibes, so although I knew nothing about this book, I bought it. Let me read the synopsis. It all begins with rumors, stories of unexplained misfortunes. Nora, mourning the deaths of her husband and daughter, knows the whispers are about her grandson. 4-year-old Michael can no longer speak or walk, and people are saying that he's a changeling, I don't know this word, bringing bad luck to the valley. In desperation, Nora begs the help of two others, Mary and Nance. Together, the women will do anything to cure the little boy, but as their world of folklore and ritual tightens around them, it threatens to blur the line between mercy and murder. And we are in rural Ireland in 1825. Another brilliant book that I really want to read. And actually, this is the end. These are the 14 books I want to read in 2024. Please let me know what books you are planning to read in 2024. And I would also love to know your opinions if you have read any of the books that I've mentioned. But please, no spoilers. I guess that this will be up in early January, so I hope you are having a great start of the year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I'll see you. Bye.